Are you all ready for the last Greasy four-leg parlay of 2022 on Uncle Weezy's YouTube channel? I hope you are, because it has come to that time of the year. One more card before we get a month off, get to recuperate, rest, relax, spend some time with our family that we've locked out of our house for the last 11 and a half months. Get back into the family spirit for a brief 2 weeks before we kick them out of our lives again and get back to being degenerate UFC gamblers. I hope you guys are here to ride with me for one last Greasy parlay of 2022. And I also wanted to say it's been a great year here on my YouTube channel. I've doubled my subscribers from about 1,000 to 2,000. I have been able to, this is the first year that I've been monetized on YouTube. So it's really nice having the ability to be able to get donations and get a little bit of advertising revenue from the content that I create. And it's been a great gambling year, over 15% return on investment this year, over 40 units to the plus side, and a very consistent year, good bankroll management. I really kind of feel like the adjustments that I've been making over the last few months have gotten me hotter over the last, I would say like 3 months. I think I feel like I'm really starting to catch my groove here and start to really have some good events here and get them back to back, stack those wins like flapjacks. So I'd like to thank everybody that's been riding with me for this entire time, that's been watching the channel, that hits that thumbs up button, that subscribed to the channel, that subscribed to the Patreon, which is, I'm going to give you the link to that right here. I just wanted to say thank you. It's been a great year on this channel. I'm looking forward to building the channel even more and improving the content and improving the analysis and the data science and everything that I do here to, educate the community about the statistical side of this sport and what stats matter and how we can find an advantage and where the betting lines are placed so that we can stack cash tickets like flapjacks, have winning years back to back to back to back to back, and make this a profitable little hobby. So thank you guys for rolling along with me. Let's get right into this Greasy four-leg parlay. I am going to share my screen with you guys, and leg one is going to be the Said Nurmagomedov money line. Now, I know that Kakramanov is a very, very popular pick thus far, but this is a line that's 50-50. I think this fight will be very close. But I do see that, Said is taller. He's longer. He's more experienced as a pro and at the UFC level. He's got a very equal opportunity finish game in that he gets just as many finishes by submission as he does by knockout. I think he's got an excellent front choke series, which is going to make it very dangerous to be shooting in on multiple takedowns against this man. In addition to that, when you watch the regional scene footage on Said Nurmagomedov, this man's been wrestling at a high level since the beginning of his career. His first loss was to Magomed Bibulatov, who has a win over Peter Yan. Bibulatov won that fight by unanimous decision, took down Said several times, but Said just kept getting up. Said kept sweeping him. There was one time where he got taken down, he got the sweep so fast that I would say Bibulatov, with a great takedown, got less than 2 seconds of control time from it. And I see Said Nurmagomedov being the better striker in this matchup. I see him having the better strength of schedule at the UFC level. And I see that he's a lot more comfortable at striking range here, as he spends about 80% of his UFC fights at striking range, while for Kakramanov, it's only 25%. And we did see Kakramanov get held up against the cage for massive swaths of time here. I don't even know if Kakramanov is going to be better in the clinch, even though his judo is excellent. And I have seen that judo be able to take down Said Nurmagomedov in the past. But I just don't think that Said Kakramanov is going to be in those grappling exchanges and winning enough minutes there to justify this line. So the very first line is going to be the Said Nurmagomedov money line here. So on DraftKings Sportsbook, we can find that right here at -105. The next one here is going to be leg two, Cheyenne Vlismas money line at -180. Cheyenne is Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. I think that she's much more athletic, much faster, much more powerful, the much better striker in comparison to Corey McKenna. McKenna is just, the ceiling is only so high for McKenna because of the lack of athleticism and size that she has for this division. She would be much better suited at atom weight. And she's got the shortest reach in the UFC here. So I think that Corey can definitely have some success wrestling here, but I can't get the Elise Reed fight out of my head, you guys. It was such a bad performance. It was such a horrible fight IQ performance. And when she did take down Elise Reed, which I believe was 3 times in the fight, every single time Elise Reed got back up, which is very troubling. So I think Cheyenne's ground game is very good. It's not quite as good as McKenna's. I don't think her wrestling is as good as McKenna's, but I do believe that she's got a much better get-up game. She's got much better Brazilian jiu-jitsu than the ladies that Corey has dominated on the ground, and I think that she's going to be the best striker that Corey has seen thus far, and I think it's going to be kind of violent on the feet. So I'm looking for Cheyenne Vlismas to shave some ass here, and she is at minus 180 right now on the money line. That brings the 2-leg parlay up to plus 203. Leg number 3 is going to be the Cody Brundage versus Mikhail Olexiejczuk alternative under 2.5 rounds money line that we have at minus 230 right now on DraftKings. So if we go to alternative total rounds up here and scroll down to the Olexiejczuk Brundage fight, we can see the under 2.5 is minus 230. If we go to the prop template here, which is available on my Patreon for Brundage Olexiejczuk, and we look at that under 2.5, we could see that if we go back here, 69.23% of their combined UFC fights have finished under 2.5 rounds. They're going under 2.5 rounds at a 19.13% rate. And the under 2.5 round rate is 50% for this division. So at minus 230, we can see that we're overpaying by about 19.6%. But we can see also that the fight or finish rates are right around that rate. And I love the stylistic components of this matchup. I interviewed Cody Brundage on the MMA Engine YouTube channel, along with my guy Lou Betya. We talked about, the best game plan for Brundage here was going to be to wrestle. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk has lost every fight that he's been taken down in at the UFC level. So Cody's game plan is to go out there, up and down, wrestle, and get him up against the cage and close that distance and not allow Oleksiejczuk to pressure him and to get him moving backwards and to engage him in a striking battle. So I think no matter which one of these guys gets their way, whether it's Cody or whether it's Mikhail, I think that this is going to be a blistering pace on both sides here. And I really do see this fight finishing inside the distance and probably under 1.5 rounds because both of these guys are very aggressive and they both push a crazy pace. And I think that where Cody is good, Mikhail is bad. And I think where Mikhail is good, Cody isn't as good as Mikhail. So I think that whether it's on the feet or whether it's on the mat, somebody's going to be better than the other one, and I do see violence taking place here. So when we add that line in, we've got this thing up to plus 335, and then the last leg of this one is going to be the Drew Dober Bobby Green over 2.5 rounds, which is sitting at minus 180. We can find that here under the total rounds tab under fight lines, and if we scroll down here, we can go to Drew Dober, Bobby Green, over 2.5 rounds at minus 180. When we go here to the advanced stats, also available on Uncle Weezy's Patreon, we can look at Drew Dober and Bobby Green and look at the advanced stats. Now, in Bobby Green's fights, Bobby's very durable. We got 18 UFC fights. 14 of them have went over 2.5 rounds. That's 77.77%. So that is almost that would be like a minus 350 implied line that would correspond with that implied probability of about 77%. Now, Drew Dober's fights go over 2.5 at a much lower rate. They go over 2.5 only 32% of the time. But I want to remind you that Drew Dober's been finished a lot by submission, by Beneil Dariush, by by Islam Makhachev, by Olivia Aubin-Mercier, and by Efren Escudero. All those guys finished him via submission. So this is something that, Bobby Green's not really attempting submissions at the UFC level. Bobby Green has attempted 0.25 submissions per 15 minutes, and Dober's attempted 0.09. Drew Dober's got a crazy good chin, so I don't think there's any chance of Bobby Green knocking him out. And Bobby Green has been dropped, it looks like, 3 times in 18 fights and 888 significant strikes absorbed. So Drew Dober has 7 knockdowns in 19 fights, but Bobby Green is extremely defensively responsible. And I do believe that he can win minutes here and avoid the big shot of Dober. And if he does that, I don't see either of these guys attempting a whole lot of takedowns. I don't see there being a high likelihood of submission on either side. And because both guys are durable and defensively responsible, I see this fight going over 2.5. So when we add that one in, we can see that this is clocking in at plus 577 here on DraftKings Sportsbook. I want to cash this one, finish strong. Let's see what's going on with you guys in the chat here. We got my guy Victor De Jesus first in the room saying, "Oi, yes, let's cash the last Greasy 4-legger of this year. Let's absolutely do it." We cashed the last one, gentlemen. I think we've cashed 3 out of the last 5. So I'm fired up to make it 4 out of 6. This is a lot safer than the last 3 weeks that we've thrown together, but there weren't a lot of lines that were jumping out at me. And the one that I'm most nervous about is the Said Nurmagomedov money line. And we got Buffo on the beat saying, "Oi, Archduke Weezy, patron saint of the statistically gifted. I know you like your parlays and 4s, but tell us how you feel about putting 4 meatballs in a parm sandwich. Is that the right ratio? Usually here in Chicago, it's 3. But I don't have a problem with 4. It's all about the flavor. It's all about the sauce. And it's all about that Parmesan and mozzarella cheese that you melt over those meatballs. Absolutely delicious. I would say 3 is the perfect number. It's the magic number and the best for a meatball parm sandwich, but it can be made with 4 as well, Buffo. Thanks for checking out, brother, or checking in, I should say. Mr. Jingle is saying, let's close out the year with the greasiest 4-legger. It's not the greasiest. It is not the greasiest, but hey, we got a good one here. Adam Rush saying, "Oi, let's get greasy." And Lou Betya saying, Weezy's greasy 4-legger greater than the legendary American DJ Doug Tract, a.k.a. the Grease Man. Dude, I would agree. I would agree. The American DJ Doug Tract, good, but not as good as Weezy's greasy 4-legger. Martin Dermov in the room saying, "Oi, what's up, Martin?" We got Rouses in the room saying, "Oi." We got Dan Goldstein saying, "Merry Christmas." We got Thorism saying, "Oi, let's get greasy." I don't need to deal with my family, says Lou Betya. They are awful. What's up, Weezy, says Chester. What's up, Chester? Thorism saying, "Uncle Weezy got that fly-ass Adidas shirt on." Yeah, man. Definitely love my Adidas stuff. Ever since Run DMC did the My Adidas track back in the 80s, it's been all about Adidas for your Uncle Weezy. The Betya compound is violent, says Lou Betya. Alan Orante saying, "Is greasy a good thing? LOL, I'm new to the channel." It just means that it's not very juiced. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely on the greasier side. We usually get up to about plus 900 on these. This week it's a little bit more conservative, but greasy just means it's not the biggest or the most sure bets of the week for sure. We got Dickens Cider saying, "Oi, let's go." What's up, man? Author saying, "Oi, the best uncle in the world." What's up, Author? Good to see you hanging out. G-Man saying, "I haven't showered in weeks." That's all right, man. You know, you take a bath every once in a while and just let the filth kind of float around you. That's always a good way to do it. Dan Goldstein saying, "Darren Wynn fainted. What makes people faint? Blood loss? Who likes blood?" Sergey Spivak. All I'm saying is, where was Nosferatu? I think you know where he was, you guys. He was at the PI when Darren Wynn had his incident. Dude, you know, how many times have people fainted after they've had blood drawn? Huh? Dude, I think Dan's on to something here, dude. When we're looking at Sergey Spivak right there, and then we see somebody in the vicinity is fainting due to blood loss, I don't know. 2 + 2 sometimes equals 4, you guys. Let's just put it that way. Greasy or the better, Alan. That's right, man. Dave Bandit in the room saying, yes, Weezy, plus opportunities to meet and talk to fighters that you watch next day in TV. Hell yeah, man. I know Dave got to talk with Mihail Olexiejczuk. I and Lou Betya we got to talk with Cody Brundage this week. That is going to be a killer fight. Can't wait for that. I am absolutely expecting violence in that spot. Lou Betya saying, you're welcome. Antonio Esparza is saying, oi, what's up, Unc? What's your official prediction for the McKenna fight? It's the official prediction is going to be Vlismas by decision, but I think she could get a knockout here if Corey is just not having success getting the fight to the ground and she potentially gasses trying to get it there. I could see Cheyenne potentially getting a late finish here, but the pick is Vlismas by decision, and it is Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. We got Dan Goldstein saying, if it's not Greasy, send it back. Food, women, and parlays. Damn right, man. Oh, yes. And we got Kak Romanov. Yeah, that's right. Kak Romanov. We got just my 2 cents saying, sup, Unc. We got my guy Kiwis checking in saying, sure all. We got Lou Betya saying, I bartended for that interview. Thor saying, right, Rafa Garcia fight doesn't go to decision. I like a lot. I mean, I like maybe Rafa to finish Mahashate, but I don't think Mahashate finishes Rafa Garcia. Rafa is very, very durable. But now that Mahashate missed weight and he didn't look good, those are always those catchweight fights tend to go to finish inside the distance at a higher rate than the rest of them. It's a smaller sample size, so it's not necessarily a locked in indicator. But that could be a good spot there. And MMA Propaholic in the room saying, let's go. It's getting greasy. Let's go, man. And Jay Stanford saying, oi, Weezy, number 1 in town. What's your favorite for DraftKings? My favorite, in terms of, what's my favorite for the DFS DraftKings? It was Julian Marquez at 8,700. Dude, I kind of like Brundage as a great way to save salary because that dude is going to wrestle. I promise you that. He's going to wrestle. And if he has any success wrestling, he can elongate the fight. And even if he gets knocked out, if he gets 4 or 5 takedowns first, he could score a good amount of points for that sub $7,000 salary that he has. And I mean, I do like Amir Albazi. I think you could easily get him into your lineup this week. There's a lot of very interesting mid-range options. You could stay in the mid-range, go down and get Brundage, go way up there and get Amir Albazi. And I think, and then Kopp, I think, also has some pretty good upside because he's such a good finisher. And the first leg is the Said Nurmagomedov money line, Eric. Can't see it on my phone. Thanks for all your input, Weezy. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem, dude. We got Victor Jesus for saying, for those of you who have that BetMGM, that 4-legger is coming in at plus 592, which is better than DK in this case. And I'm using a boost that's bringing it to plus 731. We got Moise Audio with the carousel horses in the room. What's up, Moise? Good to see you, man. We got Ruben Bianchi saying, oi, Weezy, after saying I was retiring last week, I'm back. Welcome back from retirement, Ruben. Good to see you in here, my man. We got Hagbard Celine saying, oi. And Prince of Mischief saying, who's the parlay buster, Weezy? I think there's potentially a couple. I think Jake Matthews could be a parlay buster. I think that Rinat Fakhretdinov could be a parlay buster. I think Morozov could be a parlay buster. I'm very light on this card, you guys. The only bets for me this week are the Brundage money line, the Brian Battle money line at plus 150. I've got the Bobby Green by decision at plus 230. And I've got the fight doesn't go to decision, which was juiced up to, or not juiced, but very low price at plus 150, which was a lot of line movement that I beat there. So definitely a very good, what do you call it? I just lost my train of thought there, but the parlay buster could be a lot of different people this week. I don't have a lot of faith in these favorites. And Moy saying Morozov, parlay buster. I agree. It could definitely be a parlay buster. And MMA Propaholic saying, Weezy and Lou, great job on the interview with Brundage. Can't wait to see you guys interview more fighters in 2023. And I'm looking forward to a fantastic 2023 with all of you guys that have been supporting my channel, that have helped this channel grow, and that have helped us get to over 2,000 subscribers, over 3,000 followers on Twitter, almost 50 members on my Patreon right now. And I have to thank all of you guys for allowing me to be able to do this for a living right now. And even though it doesn't pay much, it's paying the bills, and I'm being able to do something that I really love doing. And I have all of you to thank for that, man. Victor De Jesus saying, I'm light on this card too. I'm 13.5 units deep, and 8.5 could push. Yes, probably some finish onlys in there, Vic. Yeah, I do that too a lot. And then we got my guy Rob Pagorni in the room saying, let's stack another one at Rivers. I owe you a steak dinner for the last week's Greasy picks. Love the stats. That's one of my fraternity brothers from the college days, you guys. Maybe one day we'll get Rob Pagorni and Chris Kalanzis here on the channel, and we'll tell you some official Sigma Chi stories from the 90s at Northern Illinois University, which is we were some real pricks back in the day, and we've got some great stories. So it's always good to see my people hanging out in here for the live streams. Appreciate you, Rob. Good to see you, man. And Victor De Jesus saying, have an awesome Christmas and Happy New Year, Unc, in chat. We got my guy Nev Rowe hanging out saying, well, Uncle Weezy, this should be a fun fight night. My reads will be either spot on or horrendous, but it's the last card of the year, and we have to be in it to win it. No regrets. Good to see you hanging out, Nev Rowe. It's been a minute since I've seen you here, brother. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you all for making this the best year ever for Uncle Weezy's YouTube channel. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for the last card of the year, UFC Vegas 66, Strickland versus Cannonier, and I will see you guys in 2023. God bless each and every one of you guys. Good night. Oh, and I will be going to watch the happy hour on the MMA Engine YouTube channel with my guys Lou Betya and Monk. Let's go.